Well, a UK parliamentary inquiry has been launched into the royal family's property portfolio, with revelations that Royal Lodge, where the King's disgraced brother, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, resided, was dilapidated and in need of repairs. For more on this story, I'm joined by our Europe correspondent, Elias Clure. Elias, good to have you with us today. Now, firstly, what triggered this inquiry from the British Parliament?
Good evening to you, Girish. Well, primarily the rental agreement between the Crown Estate and former Prince Andrew. Now, there was public outrage when it was revealed that Andrew was paying what's called a peppercorn rent, so ostensibly nothing, to live in a 30-room mansion at Great Windsor Park, the Royal Lodge as it's known. Now, after that public outrage, the Public Accounts Committee wrote to the Crown Estate for more information as to how that rental agreement was made up. And the head of the chair of the PAC, Sir Geoffrey Clifton-Brown, has since determined that, and I'll just quote him, he says, having reflected on the information we received, it clearly forms the beginning and the basis for an inquiry. That was a statement from Sir Geoffrey on a Tuesday. So it's primarily to do with the rental agreement between Andrew. Many people here, you speak to people on the street, they were completely disgusted by the fact that the former Prince was living a life of lavish luxury and not paying for it.
Yes, and what will this inquiry be investigating as far as Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor and the Crown Estate is concerned?
Well, it's not yet clear whether Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor will give evidence in any inquiry or probe conducted by MPs in the Public Accounts Committee. However, the Crown Estate, just for a bit of context, Girish, is, as you mentioned, the royal family's portfolio. Now, it's technically not really a for-profit enterprise. It is set up as an independent business, but any profits are directed to the British Treasury, and then in turn an account is created which allows the royal family to conduct its royal duties. Now, the Crown Estate, though, has been essentially a mechanism for the royal family to gift members very generous rental agreements. And I'll just list off a couple of examples. So Princess Alexandra, now our viewers would be forgiven for not knowing who that is. She's the first cousin of Queen Elizabeth II. She signed a 70-year lease in 1971 for this enormous property at Richmond Park. She pays £410, which is about 800 Australian dollars, annually. That was for the first 35 years, and now that's gone up a whopping 600 Australian dollars. She pays 1,400 Australian dollars a year for a massive property at Richmond Park. Prince Edward, who's the King's brother, he pays in a 50-year lease, he pays £90,000 a year for a 120-room property at Windsor. So I think there is a sense within MPs and Parliament that these generous sweetheart deals that are gifted to royals for lavish, large mansion, manor-type properties perhaps may have to come to an end, or at the very least need to be investigated.
Yeah, those rental figures are quite astounding, Elias. So in the case of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, he will be leaving Royal Lodge, but he won't get any compensation for the early surrender of his lease, and that's due to the condition of that property. What do we know about the state of Royal Lodge? Yeah,
so it's important to recognise, Girish, that then Prince Andrew paid about 15 million Australian dollars to fix up the property before he moved in about 2001. It was previously the home of the Queen Mother, his grandmother. So it was already in a very trying state. After he moved in, though, maintenance was reportedly extremely expensive. He covered all of that. But we now know from this, analysis by the PAC that it's unlikely that the former prince will have to will be entitled to any compensation due to the fact that the property is, as has been described in this report, as dilapidated. as well as in need of repairs. Now, a full analysis will be conducted to determine just what state the property is in, but from this information it appears that it's not in the best state, and that is potentially due to the fact that it was so expensive to maintain it.
Yes, and it will be interesting to see the level of scrutiny these inquiry will have from the press, and I'm sure you will keep us up to date. Elias Clure in London, thank you so much.